I'm Shelby with the Foundation for Individual Rights and Education. We're here today in New York City to speak with college students about New York's new affirmative consent, or yes means yes statute. The law was enacted earlier this year in order to address campus sexual assault, and it goes into effect this semester. So we're here today to get the take from students right here on campus. Did you know that New York became the second state in the country to pass an affirmative consent law?
No, I didn't, but that's awesome. That makes me really happy.
No, I did not actually.
I heard about it, but I don't know if it's this year or not.
The college that you go to, did they send you any emails or anything about it?
Not of recent, but we did have to take a sexual consent course to come in to the school.
Did your school tell you anything about the new law at your orientation?
Not that I remember, no.
And you're a freshman?
Yes.
You just had a chance to look at the new sexual assault law that was passed in New York. You just went over the new affirmative consent statute. So you just had a chance to look at the affirmative consent statute. They use the word sexual act, but they don't define it. So I wanted to ask you, for example, is kissing a sexual act?
Maybe not.
I think so.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Not really.
Okay. Well, no. Do you think that they should have maybe more carefully defined sexual acts?
Yes, because that can be a little bit of a tricky situation if something happens and the two different parties disagree over what is a sexual act. So I guess that should be made more clearly.
It says here that silence or lack of resistance in and of itself does not constitute consent. What do you think about that? Do you think that you can demonstrate consent through nonverbal cues?
I guess, just in my opinion, I'm just more of an assertive person. If I don't want it, I will verbally say something or react in a way that shows no, but also in a way that's silent.
Consent can be given by words or actions. So actions, there's clearly they're cleaving words and actions, but then they go on to say silence does not demonstrate consent. So it seems a little bit of a conflict there. Doesn't seem very clear.
Now, have you ever kissed a guy after a date before he's actually said, "Please kiss me"?
I have, and I normally find it cheesy when they ask.
I would ask, putting my arm on you or anything, I should know whether or not it's okay to touch you.
Do you mostly go through body language, or what do you use?
Body language.
I feel like you have to get a verbal confirmation that they're ready to have sex with you. They could be really drunk and horny but not consenting to you. So I think getting that verbal confirmation that it's okay with them.
Looking at body language, I think a lot of the times people can say something but not really mean it.
When it goes too far, the person will say no.
You talked about being drunk. So what's the difference between being drunk and being incapacitated? Mind you that being incapacitated is, a legal thing, and being drunk can be anything. So what do those terms mean to you?
Well, I think it's kind of, wow, man, it's hard to, it's a gray area. It's hard to tell whether you're too drunk or whether they're too drunk.
Sometimes when you're drunk, you
Do stuff that you don't do when you're sober.
But I think you always would have that voice in your head saying, no, I should not do it.
There's a little bit of ambiguity that I'm a little bit doesn't really.
Does that make you a little uncomfortable?
I think it's a good thing that we should be hey, don't rape anybody. Wording.
How would you go about proving that you got the consent?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think that's really difficult because it ends up being your word against the other person's.
Oh. I don't know, actually.
It's purely based on that other person's knowledge or consent. So you can't prove it for yourself. You have to have that other person prove it for you. I'm not going to have everyone I sleep with sign a document saying, yes, I consent to having sex with you.
The way that I understand that it works is that the university will review it, and it'll be a board of a few people, and they'll look at a sexual assault complaint. And they deal with it behind closed doors. There's no real consistency across different cases at one university and across the application of this law across all the universities in New York State.
That's what scares the shit out of me, because if anything happens, if someone says that I did anything or something was misconstrued, I'm automatically the villain, I'm automatically the bad guy, and it's up to me to prove that I'm not, which is interesting because in America, it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. I'm more skeptical of a university taking the side of the male. It comes down to, universities, institutions wanting to protect themselves and also wanting to protect the people that, make these claims, because they are very, very serious claims. If you're making a claim, we're going to assume that you're 100% serious, which I understand, but I do think it's so important to really hear out the other person. I think it's something that I'm not seeing as much.